I don't know if you could be able to see it on the YouTube properly and on the Facebook, right? If you look at these letters here, you'll be able to properly see, put it this way. This would look here as almost like an arrow or a head.
Okay, that's all.
You'll be able to see it on the Facebook and the YouTube. Sorry?
Hold on a minute. You flip around so you can see on the screen.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. To water.
Find the one. Right.
Right. So see. Yeah. Oh, I will look at it. I will take it from
on the phone here?
Yeah.
Alright, okay. No, I ain't seen it properly yet.
No, it was the same notes I made from before.
All right, so
Yeah. No sweat.
Right. Right.
Just let me know as to what.
Let me double check, right? Okay, there. Can I go on there? All right, take a look at it and the height good or am I just
Yeah.
All right, solid.
Things supposed to be already.
All right, nice.
Good. Bubble shot. That's all. That's all. Let's give me the sheets, please. The bubble shot.
Yeah,
Yes. I'll rather utilize that. Yes, for sure. So, yes. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, okay. Alright. Yeah, okay. That's right. Yeah. You just switch the orientation for it to stand up.
All right.
Yes. Same way. Because it will see it sideways.
Oh, it's lucky because you don't have really the option out.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
just put the phone straight.
Right.
Just use the same, shoot it the same straight. You good? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, understood. Okay. All right, come on.
Hand the back. Oh, what you have to do now? Slack, yeah?
Right.
So to say you will know that way you'll still see it sideways. So just
Right.
put it straight.
Right. Oh.
Yeah, just put it straight. Nice.
Okay. Well, you don't have the option to hold something in place where you have to have it straight.
Now, you can probably use the book and watch
Yeah.
it between, and that should be able to work.
The thing is, wait for that for charging.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Let's see what it's upside down.
No, not this way.
All right.
Slack.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go this way. And let's see if you can
All right. Yeah.
understand?
All right. Let's see. You want to go between the table or something?
Yeah.
And go to you.
That's good.
No?
Let's get this.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Just see on your phone. Where are you looking at?
Yes. Should be able to.
Let me see what I do, man. See what I do.
Yeah, it should be good there now.
Right. Double check on your face and see what I do. Double check.
There with us, Israel. Yeah. That's it.
Nice. So
Voila.
oh, no.
As I was saying a bit earlier, that our language is a language that it's natural, it is easy, it's very easy to understand that language, that we'll be able to for it to flow, because as we know, the black man speaks in slang, and when they speak in slang, most times the words are not what we call so-called the Queen's English. So, like first look at you say, well, what is the scene? That is like a slang. Or what's the scene? You understand? That is how we talk as black people. And if you look at the Hebrew language, it's something almost natural, something instinctive in us. And with the Lashawan Kodak, which is the holy tongue, which is that given to us from the Most High through Adam, it gives us like a full breakdown of what our natural language and natural state is. When we came across here in slavery, our oppressors destroyed that, or tried to destroy it, more or less. So what he did, he whipped us, he bring laws that would make us not use our native language, our native tongue, and because of that, we have lost that over time. And even in the infamous Willie Lynch letter, he himself spoke about, removing the language and removing the communication that a people or that a slave would have. And because of that, now you'll be able to shall say, totally lock down who they are as a people. So once that happens, you more or less bind that person or bind that culture or bind that people from moving forward. But once you control their language, that's it. So what we have here, if you'll be able to see it on the YouTube and on the Facebook, right? It's a bit easier for us to be able to show it here. Yeah, I think people see it a little bit better on the YouTube. We're going to go tonight with the basics, which is the Hebrew alphabet. And in the Hebrew alphabet, there are some basics, just like most other languages that we start with. And those basics is the building block for any language. So what we're going to have here, we have what we call the ancient Hebrew, and what we have what we call the Assyrian Hebrew. This one is ancient. This is the Assyrian. If you look on the script here, you'll be able to see it. For those who are on the Facebook and the YouTube, the first letter in the Hebrew alphabet is what we call the A, which is this here. You have the bastardized version of it, which is the Assyrian Hebrew. This is the ancient. And this here is the Assyrian. A, that's how it's pronounced. It's just like any basic language. You have a baby says ba. It is the building block for any language.
Right.
Now, any child does not learn any language overnight. And this is what we need to understand. We need to come back to these basics, because these basics will be able to help us understand and get the real weight of who we are as a people. Because we have been so destroyed as a people, we no longer have almost nothing of our own. And we in the I.S.U.P.K under commanding General YAHANNA will teach our people to come back to our original language. So for those who are on Facebook and on YouTube, maybe a little easier and a little better to see it here. Right? This here is the first character in the Hebrew alphabet, which is the R. Right? If you look at it, it looks almost like a sideways A, but this represents, because it's a pictorial language. Hebrew is a very pictorial language. It gives a description of things that is around, and once that is done, you will be able to understand what it is. And in this case, the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet is what we call the R, which really represents an ox, or the head of an ox. And those who are in agriculture, or those who do husbandry, animal husbandry, when you look at an ox from almost the top or the side view, you will realize, you will see the head of the Hebrew language. Now the Hebrew word "ah" also, when you go to the description, understand the description, it means power and authority, right? As you know, an ox is a very powerful animal to pull that plow and be able to really dig deep and dig out the dirt, where then they will break it up and be able to use it in agriculture. So the first letter now, because in this case, the Assyrian, which is almost looks like an N, Facebook. All right. This is where I should say it was changed during the time of our Assyrian captivity. Oh, that's really Facebook. So, so this is the first letter or first character of the Hebrew alphabet. If I bring it up closer here, first letter A, and that's the building block. As you know, in English or most of these other languages, the first letter in English is A. And as we know, how do they pronounce the letter A? A. So we could see clearly where so-called English is derived from in the basis of its creation and its language. And that is the R. We go to now to the second character. What we call the Ba. You write the ancient and the Assyrian. Let's go to this to separate. Right, this is the Ba. Again, sounds very familiar. You do it on a bigger piece because the board seems to be given a little bit of trouble. This is the Ba. Look at it, you'll be able to see and understand that this is what they use, or the symbolism they use to represent a tent. That's a day. And also means, and also in the description, which means a house or family, because a tent was where we were people that dwell in tents. And this was a representation of a tent. in the ancient Hebrew script. So that was the A and the Ba. We're going to move on to the other character, which is the Ga. Let's draw it here. Look at it properly. This is the, again, is the ancient Hebrew, and the one right in the bottom here will be the Assyrian. All right, let's put this here for that separation so you will understand. So, and again, it's still the building block for any language. And again, when you look at how a baby talk, ah, ba, ah, ga, 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 it's the same basic principles that we use in almost every single day,
Right.
every single time in almost any language. But when you look at it properly, you will see the genesis of it is how all these languages are able to. So even with a child, for a child to learn Hebrew will be extremely easy, right, because it's something almost natural that they already have flowing in them, so that they'll be able to. Do it again. This one's the ancient. This is the Ga. And if you look at it properly, it looks like almost like an L, but it's not really an L. When you look at it, this one here is the ancient, and this one here is the Assyrian. And this represents a foot. So again, using same everyday items or characteristics of things that you have. Oh, so like you, muka bab question. Fine, bab question. Yeah, it's why. Okay, all these are natural building blocks for any language. So we have A, Ba, Ga. A, Ba, Ga. And when you look at the flow of the ancient Hebrew, well, that's something that I didn't mention earlier. In all languages, or most languages, when you're writing, they write from left to right. But when you come to English, because they're so backward, how to call it backward, they go from right to left. When you look at most ancient languages, it's written from left to right, and Hebrew is no different. You understand? So like you're from right to left, and not from left to right, to what? So instead of, we would write, going this way, ancient Hebrew is written from the opposite end, right, and come on the other side, right? So in this case, if you're writing any language, that's how we start here. You'll have A, Ba, Ga. Then you have the other one here, Da. Here to what? And this again is the same building block. And because it's written that particular way, it's still very easy to learn, very easy to understand. Yeah, to water. Come back in heaven, neighbor. Yeah, to water. Right, so we went through the R. I notice the prints are a little bit small. Ba, Ga, Da. Oh, that's a lot here. You might be able to probably copy the last one, flash on the screen. Yeah, to water. Yeah. Might be an easier time. No, not the board. The full of the. So those on Facebook, To be able to see it properly, this is the Ga, ancient Assyrian. And the Ga represents a foot. The description also, when used in the language, means to walk or to gather. That way you use your foot for. So that is the Ga. We go to the other script. A, Ba, Ga, Da. Basic language. Maybe to see it here now. This is the fourth character in the Lashawan Kodash in our holy tongue. Right? This is the Ga. We had the Ga before, now we have the Da. And if you look at it, you will see it looks as a triangle. But this triangle represented what we call the door. Again, if you look at how tents were made back in time, it was like this, and you would still have, your door going into your tent. I'm going to draw it over so you're easier to see it. This is the Da. And when you look at the flow of the ancient Hebrew and the alphabet, it has a very smooth flow. So if I am saying the alphabet, I would say, or how it's supposed to be pronounced, is A, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha. Wazaka, Ta, Yakala. Ma, Na, Sa, I.P.A, Tazakwa, Ra, Sha, Ta. It's a flow. It's not like how, it's confusing with how English runs. When you go in school, you have your so-called alphabet sound. A, B, C, D. That's what they use. But now, if you watch it properly, you'll be able to see the ancient and the Hebrew. Look at the context here. The Da represented the door or the entrance of a tent. Again, it's very applicable, it's very simple, and again, it's nothing different to how we deal with our stuff now. Because we use a lot of symbolism in our language today. Classic example, we have what we call memes. Right. You understand?
Right.
A split, we know what I mean. Smiley face, a frown face, we know what I mean. You understand? And I guess where they get that from. You understand? They put a crying face. Right. Think about it as emojis. We communicate so much with pictographs, even today. Right? So we have some real classic ones that we can be able to see. Right? So let me see if I can shift the.
That's a little technical, but this will be international.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Right? Some of the more famous ones, we have like the fist pump. Right. You understand? We had the, right, thumbs up. Right. You understand? And then we had the ones we just use on the side. Yeah, we have the so-called melangen. We have all them others that we very well know what they mean. We had the watermelon. You understand? So all these is the basic building blocks. So last year, these are the basic building blocks for almost any language. You understand? And these are some of just the tools that we just use. This one here. Right. Nice. That's supposed to be it. Yeah. I have some of the same basic building blocks that we use when we use language today. Right? And the Assyrian for the da. This almost want to you can see on the Sorry? A little more?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. To water. Yeah, because have a little more crook.
Yeah.
In it. Yeah. We might just be both giving trouble, but if we bring it more like a little more almost like a little kind of hook. But what do you want to say? So it'll be easier to function, right? So it'll be big enough to see. Right. Right. So this is how we've seen it here. It was on the YouTube. This is the da in ancient Hebrew. Again, it means door or entrance, right? When you look at a tent, usually your door would be almost basically same structure as how the tent is structured, like a triangle, right? So that's the fourth character. You have the a, the ba, the ga, and the da. We go into the other one. So somebody tell me, what's the other character? Mabukusha. Sorry? The ha. Very good. To water. Now the ha. Again, when you look at it, you realize that it's very familiar to the language you use today. So that is how you know it's a bastardized version of, or I should say English is a bastardized version of most languages on earth is a bastardized version of the ancient Hebrew.
Right.
And what they call in Hebrew today still is a bastardized version that is so-called Amalek. That is what they use, and they claim to be, or the holy tongue, or claim to be the children of Israel, which we know they are not the children of Israel.
That's right.
They are not the children of Israel based on biblical prophecy, based on historical facts, based on the curses.
Right.
Because are under particular curses. They do not fall in our bracket. To your native language. Come back to your native tongue. Do not envy the oppressor in his languages and his customs. Because it's not yours.
Right.
You'll just be a square peg in a wrong hole. That nothing else or nowhere else you get fit in. No matter how much you try, you will not be able to fit in.
Right.
Because why? You are a separate person.
Right.
We are a separate people. We are a holy people. And we have a holy language. Right? So we have the a, the ba, the ga, da, and we have the ha. So the ha, you see it on the YouTube and the Facebook, almost want to look like as a back to front F. Right? That's the ha. This is the ancient, and this is the Assyrian. Right? The Assyrian came again through when the so-called northern tribe went into the Assyrian captivity. And through that captivity, because we spent so much time there, and as a nation, they never really came back together. Because the northern kingdom, more or less spread all through Asia. You understand? And only tribe of Judah, so-called Benjamin and Levi, they were the ones who more so came back, rebuilt the temple, and they were so-called the Jews. Right? So the term Jew or Jews is now again, it's a very pictorial and very real language. Again, it's things that we use every day. We use to represent something. And if you look at this other character, what we call the wa, again, if you look at it, you'll be able to see and understand. The wa, abagadaha, wa. The wa represent what you call a crutch. And if you look at it properly, you'll be able to see how, not like how the modern day, crutch, like if you break your leg, you break, ankle or something, you use a crutch to stick on the arm. Or in ancient time, you would get, not the fancy thing you have now, but you get something with a little base, it will almost look like a U or a Y in this case. So you get a hook or crook under your arm to be able to move properly. Right? So this is where the wa, you understand?
Right.
The symbolism came from with this. So that was the wa. So it's what we call a peg or a crutch. You understand? So this is where this symbolism came from, which is the wa. Again, very simple. A lot of people thinking, oh, well, it's ancient Hebrew, so this had to be some scholarly type, what's this big school again? Harvard. That be some kind of Harvard graduate to learn your language. And our oppressors are so wicked and so evil. The amount of money you would so-called want to pay a white man to learn a black man's languages, to try to teach you your own language, is in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then they bastardize it because they don't understand the meaning, you understand, of what this language is. And again, language is so critical to our people. You understand? When we look at our language today, it's lucky. When you look at our languages today, we will continue to see how the so-called white man or so-called our oppressor and all the other nations, they don't even understand our language because they have a lot of problem, even when we're in this state, to understand us. Because we use a lot of metaphors, similes, oxymorons, a lot of different aspects of language that is critical. So when we say something, I say, well, what is the Tazo? You understand? I know what I mean.
Right.
But things real dry, but things wrong. Things real hard, but when somebody of other nation hear that, they will think, okay, things brown. What color is he? He's brown. Things hard, but what happened? Something, he kick his foot, something. They don't understand. And with that same concept, with that same understanding, they do not understand the Bible.
Right.
So, for example, there's a scripture which says, what we mean.
Right.
But other persons not understanding our culture and our language, they will think something else.
Right. Right.
So we have the other character here where we have the za. And again, very familiar to the English. Because why? They steal everything as usual.
Right.
Our so-called oppressor is the greatest kleptomaniac in the world.
Yeah.
He steals everything,
Right.
bastardize it, and then make it his own. Right? And they do it even among themselves. They take just like this. This is like the hook. And if you see, like, picture this was the dirt.
Right.
And this would be like the hole grabbing or raking here.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
So again, this is not nothing of any high science, or what they would make it seem as if this is NASA language. And NASA ain't nothing with the Most High. They can't comprehend. They want to go in space and have a space force, and they can't fight coronavirus.
Right.
I mean, that alone says it. The basic elements that you're supposed to know, or you're supposed to have control over, you have no control over. But then you want to go in space. That don't make sense. So this is Za. And description or that za is as a tool, or you call a plow, or in our local parlance we call a hoe. Now, not the kind, not the other kind. We're talking about an agricultural tool here. Right. Just to be clear. Now we come to the other character. What we call here right? Again, this side here is the ancient, this side here is the Assyrian. Now, because of how our oppressors use this particular type of language, this is the so-called more known now. That is for them. But this is our original language. You understand? Yeah, SHALAM. This is our original language. Understand? Now, if anybody looking at this, what does this look like? New language, you had to take it in steps. Once you get the symbolism, yeah, go down of some like that.
So like I said, just a quick question. I mean, the CH, right? The CH pronouncing like a K.
Yeah, now it's pronounced
like ka or
no, is a ha.
that kind of.
Yeah, is it ka?
Alright.
You understand? Yeah, the other kind of like if you're poking kind of way.
Right.
Yeah, like ka. Yeah. So it's not like just like a flat K,
Right.
but it's a ka. Yeah. So yes, once you get that, well, anyone else put on nobody. You know, all Corona. You know, everybody, even YouTube people could be backing off. You understand? But that is how you pronounce it. Right? As ka. So you have aba, gada, ha, waza, ka. Again, basic building blocks for language. And average age that a child learns to talk, if anybody knows. So like guesses? 3? 2? Anybody else? Or 2.5? Yeah, go ahead, Officer Mike. What? 3.5. Anybody 4.5? Anybody? Yeah, it's around that because each child develops a bit differently. Understand? Those who on YouTube, Facebook, it should be able to see it. Now, the ka, I should say, which is the previous one, this here is what we call ta. And again, it's very rhythmic. It's a flow in the language. Again, Israel is what we call the ta. So if I can make a little adjustment, say it. Now, for all those you know who is watch, I wouldn't say cartoons, but more or less cartoons. What does it look like here? Ta. In terms of, you know, those who are movie fans and stuff now.
Right.
What does it look like?
Shield.
Huh?
Shield.
A shield, yeah. What else? That's very opposite as well. You know, it look like almost like the X-Men symbol, right? But it's not the X-Men. The X-Men teeth from. That's not a normal thing, right? But the ta, in this case, this represents again more common everyday thing. This represents what we call a basket. And if anybody understand how, you know, the old school baskets were made, you understand? Let's see if I could probably do a doodle here. What our basket is here. Usually it'd be like almost like this. Right. This is from the side view of how our basket would look. Right? But when you look at the top view, in most baskets, you would look on the inside, you have a brace. This is like the the structure of the basket to be able to make it to hold it firm now. And with this now, when you look at it from the top, this is what you see. So this is the top. If you've seen it properly on the YouTube and on the Facebook, this is top. If history shows or teaches anything, any person or any people who are conquered, one thing that
Communication between them.
so like say this thing one more time.
Can't speak privately amongst the oppressor.
That's right. Now, if the oppressor don't know what you're saying, you keep be telling him, well, we're going to cut it short tonight. And he will never have a clue.
Right.
So that was his way of, how I should put it, his way of controlling. His way of controlling his slaves.
Right.
Because if you could talk in a language that he does not understand, you understand, he is at risk. So the first thing he does, he eliminates the language.
Right.
He makes you speak his language. So whatever you say, he understands.
Right.
You see throughout with the native Indians, where they took all the young, especially the young, because that's what they did. So once you eliminate the language from the young ones, that is more than likely where you will lose that heritage and that custom.
Right.
Once that is done, that's it right. So once he does that, he has full control of a people. And once a people lose their language, they are almost broken as a people. Because they can't really do nothing. You understand? Without the when we realized it became a problem for us reading the Bible, because we got to understand that these people in the Bible is us. We are the ones who are in oppression. We were the ones who were in Egypt. We were the ones who were under bondage. And with that now, when we get to understand that, they realize, nah, they understand this language. So we had to take that away from them. So what they did now, you can't learn to read. If you're a Negro and you know how to read, you're in problems. Now they need us. They're not needed now. Not every slave couldn't read. There were a lot of slaves who could have read, but just couldn't read specifically the Bible.
Right.
Because that was where the problem was. Right. You can read a floor plan, you can read a map, you can read slaves who built America, great architects. But they didn't want us to get the knowledge and the Yah. Or the Yah, when you look at it, what it looks like again? Very similar again, once again. For those on the Facebook and the YouTube, this is the Yah. Somebody have an idea what it's looking like here again? Very similar to the so-called Z, but this actually represents the fist or fist closed. So if you look at it, if you look at a man's arm, and you look at it almost as if you want to do this. This represents a closed fist, like that. So this is where you get the Yah from. It takes a lot of time to put back in that word, to get all our rubbish out of your head. And that rubbish is all these bastardized languages. English, French, Spanish, German, whatever it is. All these languages are the language of our oppressors.
Right.
And because of that now, our whole vibe, our whole nature is still contrary to their language.
Right.
Because when I check it out, it is very rare you will find a so-called black man, Hispanic or Native Indian actually speaking the so-called, even the bastardized language properly. Because when you look at English, the so-called oppressors have what we call the Queen's English. We speak a even more broken up aspect of that language. You understand? Again, our local language. Luckily for us, we have a very canny ability to switch between the so-called Queen's English, broken English. Yeah, go ahead, upside. That's all.
So is it right?
Yeah.
Let's take a look at it. At least from our hood this far.
Yeah.
French.
Mm-hmm.
We call it Spanish, everything.
Yeah.
That we touch them, basically, we break it up.
Yeah.
We have to break it up.
And the reason for that is because it's always in our nature to speak in slang,
Right.
or shorten it. Right. You know, a good example is, as I heard it in a previous class, is like how our language is a manly language, is a brutish language, if you want to almost put it as that, right? A good example, as I heard from another class, was like how the native Indians were learning English.
Right.
I say, you come here,
Right.
woman, horse, because we use those same symbolisms to be direct.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
Because all these symbolisms are direct to a particular thing.
Right.
It's straightforward.
Right.
It's not no in between here, tent. No.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
And this so-called, and that is basically how, our language and our so-called brothers, the North American Indians,
Right.
it is a really good example.
Right.
And if you look back at some of those old Western movies, you get a good illustration of how that language was broken down,
Right.
comparing between our language and the so-called bastardized English,
Right.
what they learn and try to teach.
Okay.
Right? So that is basically how our language, it was taught and learned. Right? So the other character we have here now is the ka. Now, I think the previous one, which is ka, you had to bring that in it, that coughing up or hawking, as we say in our language, type out of your throat.
Right.
But this year, you have here the ka,
Right.
which is straightforward. Understand? So you have the aba, gadaha, waza, ka, or ka, ta, ya, ka. In this case here, which is the next character.
Right.
Understand? Characters. All right. Now, one is for what we use in the beginning of our word or the ending.
Right.
Right? According to the tense.
Right.
Right?
But
Right. Yeah.
The R on that one.
Yeah. Tuara. Make it a little longer. Right? So it's a little longer. Right? If you have it up on the screen, it would be a little more easier to show it. But again, let me take out this little piece here. Right?
Right.
But it's a bit longer.
Right.
But this is it here. The car.
Right.
You could see it on the YouTube.
Yeah. So like this here. Probably next week because it's a problem with the internet now. So
no sweat, no sweat.
So, yeah.
I know we will be able to get it still.
Okay.
No problem. Right? So this is the car. Now in this case here now, the car represent a palm, or open palm.
Right.
Now if you already look at it, if you put your hand like this,
Right.
you'll be able to see
Right.
again the symbolism. This is the palm or the hand. Again, very straightforward, very real, no beat around the bush.
Right.
You understand? And this is the car.
So like this is coming, right?
Go ahead.
You have the little piece in there.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Like how this is here.
Down, yeah.
Right? Those who have it,
Right.
you will see it almost look like an M.
Right.
It's in the palm of your hand.
Right.
You would see it. Basically, same symbolism, You understand? That is used to bring that straightforward character.
Right.
And again, these are things that you wouldn't learn in your public school.
At all.
You understand? You get to say it right in the I.S.U.P.K. under commanding General YAHANNA,
That's right.
who has been teaching this truth since 1969, that the so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native Indians, is to come back to your culture, to your history, to your language.
Right.
That is a plain period.
Okay.
So we're going to move on to the other character. See if I can get it. Get this one a little. Yeah, I think a little more mention it. All right, so this is the La. And as it says, right, if you look at it on the
Oh, no, slack it now. You're right, didn't it?
oh, what? I put A. Our so-called oppressor using these same characters in their own language, their bastardized language, to claim what is not their own. So again, this is La. Now, when you look at the La, you get to understand. If you look at it, it's be a little bit longer. But again, more symbolism of things that you use every single day. Now, the La, when you look at the description, it means it's a what we call a staff, right? In our local term, we call it a shepherd rod. Or the old school, we call it a shepherd rod, right? At the end of that rod, fall along in a pit, hook it under below the legs, by the chest, lift them up. And if you want to beat a man with it, the choice is yours. But it was mainly used yourself to defend the flock. You understand? As scripture say, Yahweh is a good shepherd. You understand? A shepherd would use that rod to protect the sheep. So this is the La. So let me just go on again. We have the A, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha. Right? Look at this here. This is the La. And if we're going down, right down to the end, when we start, we have the A, the Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Ka, Ta, Ya, Ka, La. So this is the La. This character was mean time or to yoke. Understand? So in different contexts, you're able to use this symbolism to, and just as any languages or any language to be more specific, it takes practice. Just as how you would have a baby learning any language, you had to give it some time, you had to get to understand. So you would have your son or your daughter, grandchild, grandson. You understand? You say, come, bag, shoes. All these are direct words that you would use in teaching language. Potty, spoon, comb, hand, foot. All these are different characters and different things you would use. The ma. And again, mama. Basic language, basic pronunciation. Everybody, no matter what language, ma. You understand? I mean, when you say ma, talking about our mother.
Right.
You understand? As with any language, some of the basic first words that a child learns is ma,
Right.
mommy, mommy, or in whatever language. But naturally, that is something that is brought out. Ma, da, ga, sa, wa. So all these are the basic, straightforward how we use our language to convey a message. And ancient Hebrew is just that. It's a masterful way of communication. You understand? Very straight and easy to understand, at least for those who it belongs to. Which is the key and most important thing. That this language belongs to a particular people. And because the other nations try to adopt it, they try to use it for their own gain. They have, I won't say corrupted, they carry the corrupted. Understand? But they have put their own version or their own spin to our language. Just as how they try to put their own spin to our scriptures, to our laws, which is mainly Christianity now. Virgin birth, Jesus and God is the same, because they do understand the language in which we speak. And because they do understand the language, they lose the context, they do understand it, and all hell breaks loose. So what you have here is the ma. Right? Now, if you look at it carefully, again, it's more symbolism or pictograph. What does this bring to mind when you see these characters?
Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
I saw teeth.
Well, I'll give you for that. It really looks like a sortie. But if you look at it in a different angle, I'm gonna put it this way. If you look at it naturally, right? If you take a natural aspect of looking at this character,
Right.
what does it look like? As Slovakia. It could possibly, but La'a is not that. But if you look at, I'm gonna put it this way, elemental.
Right.
What some of the elements we have in nature? We have fire, or we say we have earth,
Right.
and we have water.
Right.
Right? So in this case, this was representing, if you look at the ripples, as waves.
Right.
Right? So this is representing or symbolizing water.
Right.
You understand? Again, very simple, very straight to the point. You see the symbol on a wall somewhere, okay, I can get water here.
Right.
Very straightforward. You understand? Again, using pictographs or using this type of language is a very, I would say, sophisticated and very real and applicable language.
Right.
Most times we walking on the road, you see a mug with fraud running over.
Right.
What's the first thing you will think about? See a picture or something. You say like a good? Moby. You would think it's a beer, alcohol. You understand? You would go down point, you would see another symbolism, with a outline. If I could, so lucky for the drawing, eh? Something like that. Well, what you would think that might look like? You're walking on the road, you see something like this.
Right.
This would cut. No, I was no major in art. I didn't go art school. But at least looking at this character, you can kind of derive, a meaning from this. So if you see this gentleman in this picture here, what do you think this conveys?
Like I said,
Go ahead. That's it as well.
oh, that's just something.
Oh, you go ahead, sis. What do you think this looks like? You understand this, yes? My art ain't so good. But just even as how, it's looking, it's not no Picasso, but the message is being conveyed, which is the important factor. And we use it even today in a lot of other aspects. So the last character we had here was the Ma. Now, and the description of the ma, as shown here, is it representing one of the elements water, and the description is is chaos, might, and blood. You understand? Which almost this describes a woman. Especially when she cycle. You understand? It's chaos. The field is strong, and it's blood. You understand? So this is just somebody the simplistic but yet still sophisticated way in which we communicated, that we got from Adam, who look at the stars, and was able to read the stars. They didn't worship the stars. Let's get that correct, like how the heathens do. They look at the stars and get all kind of crazy kind of symbolisms and start to worship. This is just part of the aspect of getting the basic or the basis of a language. And once you get these simple aspects of it, you'll be able to master your original language. So so-called Black, so-called Hispanic, so-called Native Indian, today, who we are the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, come back to your original language. The other group of people has their language. The Chinese, the so-called white man, so-called African, so-called Filipino, you name every other nation under the sun, they still have their language. So-called Black, so-called Hispanic, so-called Native Indian man, we are the only one now who do not have our original language, because that was whipped in most cases. It was bastardized. It was against the law or the oppressor's law to even speak our own language, whilst they perpetuated theirs. So now we had to come back to our original language and be proud, because our oppressor is proud of his language. I can bet you that. What they call it, the Queen's English, because they're proud of their language, which is mess, garbage. To tell you how much garbage it is, the so-called Queen's English, you have but and you have but, which you have but, I create the coronavirus, you have but what? A cricket bat, which can be really confusing when you look at in terms of language, chaotic language, very chaotic, and it is also a very deceptive language. You understand? That is why even today, our so-called oppressor Esau uses language as entrapment. Anybody who does law will understand when you're a lawyer, there is a particular way to speak or to write that you could use to trap or to snare persons using English language. And this is something that they use with us, right? They trap us with language or with their bastardized language. And I even saw an article on, I think that was on Facebook, where these people who just be in the court system, I think they call them sonographers, right? Like those who record in the court system, right? What they've said, there has been a disproportionate way in which these sonographers record how Black people talk. Because they don't understand how we speak, they incorrectly take down the information what we speak. Let me see if I can find a good way. I can say, well, boy, that man come up my face and I run up on him. And if you take 2 steps again, I put it on him. You understand? We know what we mean. But because they don't understand the language and how we speak and the metaphors and the similes, they would put something totally different. And that would be a snare to us in that so-called judicial system that Esau created. And they trap us with contracts. They trap us with, with the so-called fine prints. and you know these words that they use. For example, somebody would say something that is more. What's that? We know it in our local parlance as a whole house. You understand? But this is the kind of trap or the kind of languages that they will be able to not be snared by his traps that he put in his language and in his own customs. As the scriptures say, that we should not envy our oppressor. I don't want his thinking language. I only know English because it is the language of my captivity or our captivity. I knows nothing else. If I was born in Venezuela, would that be the same thing? The bastardized language of Spanish. No matter where we are, anywhere around the world, French, Italian, wherever it is, we learn the language of their language and their custom. That is why when you go in some of these so-called Chinese restaurants or Chinese groceries, right? You'll be right here. And yes, good. You want more? And then they switch and they talk some. They could be cursing you out in their language and you wouldn't even know. But they have that ability because why? They did not lose their language. So therefore, they will be able to communicate and rob and disadvantage you without you even knowing. I am pretty sure many times they would come in and they would say, you know, that stupid N, you understand, that monkey, whoever in their language, and they would laugh and, you know, joke about it. But because we don't know or don't understand that language, we are at a disadvantage. So black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, get into the I.S.U.P.K. out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General YAHANNA. Come and learn your natural language, your true language, given to you from the beginning. This is not nobody else's language, this is our language. Get into the I.S.U.P.K. We have classes every day of the week. We have Monday. So like we have the Sunday class, which is taught by Officer Galawan. He's the head of our camp in Trinidad here. We have the Sunday class, We have the Monday class, which is the history class, which is done by Officer Makakobal. We have the Tuesday class, which is the brotherhood class, done by Officer Sawapiala. We have the Wednesday class, which is the law class, which is tied in even to language, tied in also to the Sabbath. The law class gives you a really good breakdown of how our culture and our history is. On Thursdays, we don't have any local class on Thursdays. We tune into the to General Mahaiman, and also which is the scripture breakdown on Thursdays. We also have Cross the Line, and we have other classes in other parts of the world where the nations are. We have Friday, we have what we call now the Lasha One Quad Dash by myself, Officer Yakad. And we also have our Sabbath class, which will be tomorrow. Right? So tomorrow at 10 a.m., tune in for the local structure or who you are as a people. Because our so-called oppressor has corrupted our language, corrupted our values, corrupted our system. Right? Our Sabbath supposed to be on the 7th day. They put it on the 1st day. And when you look in scripture, there's no validity to it. Understand? The Most High did all what he did and created on the 7th day, he rested. Understand? And even that breakdown of the rest, they don't even understand. Again, because of the language. All right, and with that, we'll stop here for tonight, and we'll continue on the alphabet next Friday. So we stopped at the Ma, and we get that continuation of the Hebrew alphabet. Again, it's a very simple language. If you need any information, you could call our camp leader, Officer Galawan, and you can go to our website. What's Officer Galawan's number? Anybody have a copy? 290 5173. 290-5173. That's our camp leader together with your people. Because we see now where the other nations are coming together And pretty soon you will see there in heaven. Pretty soon, black man, you realize that it's still on. So like you, let's get here.
Oh, it's like
People, yeah. So what? See how I find money. Yeah, supposed to be good.
Security and assistance. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After the 6-month period, the brother or sister 3, verse 8 to 10, means tenth in Hebrew, and is pronounced ma'ashara. 10% of every penny, any increase the Lord gives you to the treasury. 10% of every penny, we will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you like to give, upcoming holy convocation, the
Lord's Passover.
The Lord's Passover, and this will be posted as the time go by, and it will be up on the on the chat, on the school
website.
Right. So, remind Akiam and Aquatium to check on social media such as I.S.U.P.K.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K events and material. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he's to start wearing all black, which include black boots, like shirt, like pants, like headband, and with that we say I imagine. So then face these. Say the Lord's Prayer. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Ayah, Shemaka, Yahweh, Malakwaka, Tabaa, Atazaka, Ayah, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Ayah, Mashamayim, Natandanawa, Lakam, Kal, Yawam, Wasalaknawa, Kawabwatnawa, Asalaknawa, Kawabwatyanawa, Wala'a, Tabianawa, and Sayawan, Abal, Awashayanawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Malakwa, Ala, Ataparat, Ayulamia, Man.
We just said in the English, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it.
Say blessings. Barakatah Yahweh. Wa Yahweh Shai. Wa Makala. Wa Halayim. Atazabia. Alawap Yahanna. Alawapyam. Asaranyam. Akpakazayanyam. Akayalyayam. Wa Akwatiyam. Yahweh, Basham, Yahweh, Tawadaman.
What we just said in the English is blessed Yahweh,
Blessed Yahweh,
and Yahweh Shai,
and Yahweh Shai,
and Micah,
and Micah,
and the angel, commanding General
Commanding General
Yahanna, the generals,
generals,
the captains,
captains,
the officers,
officers,
the troopers,
troopers,
and the sisters,
and the sisters,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
in the name of Yahweh Shai,
in the name of Yahweh Shai,
thank you,
thank you,
so be it.
so be it. Power. Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahweh Shai,
Babukoshai,
Babukoshai,
Matanalawa,
Matanalawa,
Akak,
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 Larapa,
Larapa,
Kalmakala,
Kalmakala,
Kalmadawa,
Kalmadawa,
Akak,
Akak,
Latara,
Latara,
Amatazarayam,
Amatazarayam,
Akak,
Akak,
Laakwayam,
Ahayam,
Amatayala,
Amatayala,
Akak,
Akak,
Ayrakawat,
Ayrakawat,
Atamayala,
Atamayala,
Lagarashan,
Lagarashan,
Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai,
Yahweh Shai,
Tawadaman.
Wadaman. What you just said in English is Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Please give us the power,
Please give us
the
the power,
power to heal
power to heal
all manner of sickness,
all manner of sickness,
and all manner of disease,
all manner of disease,
the power to cleanse the leper,
power to cleanse the leper,
the power to raise the dead,
power to raise the dead,
the power against unclean spirits,
power against unclean spirits,
to cast them out,
cast them out.
in the name of Yahweh
In the name of
Shai.
Yahweh Shai.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
We're going to say now is the cursing. Blessed Yahweh,
Blessed Yahweh,
King of heaven and earth,
King of heaven and earth,
and all things living.
all things living.
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
in the name of Yahweh
in the name
Shai,
of Yahweh Shai.
listen to us now,
Listen to us now,
right now.
right now.
Send evils and curses
Send evil and curses, punishment and destruction
to the heathen
to the heathen
that speak against
that
us,
speak against us,
thy prophets,
thy prophets,
the teachers,
the teachers,
the princes,
the princes,
the priests,
the priests,
the Israelite brothers,
the Israelite brothers,
and the school.
and the school.
Send evils and curses,
Send evil and curses,
and punishment and destruction
and punishment and destruction
to the heathen,
to the heathen,
and shake loose
and shake loose
the treasure
the treasure
of the rich of Israel
of the rich of Israel
that refuse to give to the
and
school,
refuse to give to the school.
force their riches
Force their riches
to enter into thy sanctuary.
into thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses
Send evil and curses
and punishment and destruction
punishment and
to
destruction
the Edomites,
to the Edomites,
and
court
the
system,
prison system,
prison system,
Planned Parenthood,
Planned Parenthood,
all the governments of our enemies,
all the governments of our enemies,
Amalek synagogues and armies,
Amalek synagogues and armies,
Roman Catholic Church,
Roman Catholic Church,
the Pope,
Pope,
Islam,
Islam,
Christianity,
Christianity,
Egyptology,
Egyptology,
militia,
militia,
Ku Klux Klan,
Ku Klux Klan,
spies,
spies,
workers of witchcraft,
workers of witchcraft,
NASA space program,
NASA space program,
Army,
Army,
Navy,
Navy,
Air Force,
Air Force,
Marine,
Marine,
Wall Street,
Wall Street,
open up the internet,
open up the internet,
and the internet
all the heathen
that stand in the way,
that stand in the way,
or try to stop us
try to stop us
from broadcasting thy words
from broadcasting thy words
throughout the planet
throughout the
Earth.
planet Earth.
Let loose all the plagues.
Let loose all the plagues.
Let loose all the
Let
plagues.
loose all the plagues.
Let loose all the
Let
plagues.
loose all the plagues.
Cause them to go
Cause them to go
to and fro
to and fro
to the earth
to the earth
and consume them.
and consume them.
Let the plagues
Let the plagues
shake the house of the thief
shake the house of the thief
and the murderer.
and the murderer.
Let Yahweh Shai,
Let Yahweh Shai,
Micah,
Michael,
Gabriel,
Gabriel,
come down with a flying saucer
come down with the flying saucer
and punish all the heathen
and punish all the heathen
that come up against
that
us.
come up against us.
As we speak thy
As we
words,
speak thy words,
cause it to be known by all
cause it to be known by all
that is the angels that have done
that
it.
the angels that have done it,
Cause it to be spread through the media,
cause it to be spread to the
throughout the whole earth,
throughout the whole earth,
throughout the whole world.
throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake as I come in.
Cause us to shake as I come
In the name of Yahweh
In the
Shai.
name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you always.
Thank you always.
So be it.
So be it. See the blessed Israel. Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahweh Shai,
Barak Lanawa,
Barak Lanawa,
YAHANNA,
YAHANNA,
Wabiyat, Safaria,
Safaria,
Barak,
Barak,
Magan,
Magan,
Magan. Command General YAHANNA,
Command General
General,
General,
Captain,
Captains,
Officers, Troopers, Sisters, Children, the destroyer of Israel,
Destroyer of Israel.
Brothers and sisters fighting to come into the truth.
Brothers and sisters fighting to come into the truth.
Itisha,
Itisha,
Tazapa,
Tazapa,
Mapataza,
Yapa,
Tamar,
Commanding General YAHANNA,
Commanding General
Generals,
Generals,
Captains,
Officers,
Troopers,
Sisters,
Children, all the destroyed of Israel,
all the destroyed of Israel.
YAHANNA,
Raknapash,
Shariah, Kinti and family, Wilson and family,
Wilson and family,
Kutu family,
Kutu family,
Philip family,
Philip family.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
Generals.
Generals.
Captains.
Captains.
Officers.
Officers.
Troopers.
Troopers.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Aya.
Aya.
Yapa.
Yapa.
Para.
Para.
Kintian family.
Indian family.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
Commanding General
Generals.
Generals.
Captains.
Captains.
The officers.
Officers.
Troopers.
Troopers.
Sisters.
Sisters.
The destroyer of Israel.
Destroyer of Israel.
Yakal.
Yakal.
Matazah.
Matazah.
Radah.
Radah.
Figaro family.
Figaro family.
John family.
John family.
Bosby family.
Bosby family.
Alexis family.
Alexis family.
Philip family.
Philip family.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
Generals.
Generals.
Captains.
Captains.
Officers.
Officers.
Troopers.
Troopers.
Sisters.
Sisters.
Children.
Children.
All brothers and sisters fighting to come to the truth.
All brothers and sisters fighting to come to the truth.
All Israel.
All Israel.
All the destroyer of Israel.
All the destroyer of Israel.
All our families.
All our families.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
Generals.
Generals.
Captains.
Captains.
Officers.
The officers.
The troopers.
Troopers.
Sisters.
Sisters.
Children.
Children.
And all Israel fighting to come to the truth.
All
All
Israel
Israel fighting to
fighting
come to the truth.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
Generals.
Generals.
Captains.
Captains.
Officers.
Officers.
Troopers.
Troopers.
Sisters.
Sisters.
Children.
Children.
And mercy and the destroyer of Israel.
And mercy and the destroyer of Israel.
The Bawa.
The Bawa.
Alicia.
Alicia.
Afisha.
Aliyah.
Charles family.
Charles family.
Basham.
Basham.
Yawashai.
Yawashai.
Tawadama.
Tawadama.
What we just said in English is Lord.
Lord.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Bless us.
Bless us.
And Israel.
And Israel.
And the school.
Yahushua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
Sir, let's give the teacher one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, I'm Majam Shabbat. Majam Barak.
Yahweh Hashem Yeshua B'Kathum.
Majimata. Let's give the sisters, sir. Let's give the sisters. Let's give the sisters one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, I'm Majam Shabbat. I'm Majam Barak.
Yahweh Shema the time by Hashem Yeshua.
Sir, Majimata. Class dismissed.
Yeah, we're going on, Jay.